So, we're assembling the pistol. Let's start off simply with the receiver and installing the piston holder there. We'll need a 6.5 by 10 spring and accordingly, an M2X8 bolt and an M3 washer. So we insert the washer. As you could see, let me show it. We take, accordingly, a screwdriver and screw it in. That's it. The screw itself has just reached the edge. Next we take an M4X40, specifically a set screw. We could use something else, it doesn't matter what, the main thing is that it fits through. Now here's the important part. We can also use a screwdriver, or we can use a cleaning rod to carefully align our hole in the receiver with the one in the piston holder itself. That is, we need to catch this little hole, so to speak, and insert the hex key like this. Now from this side we take it and gradually start screwing in this set screw, so it gradually pushes out this hex key. We hold this hex key with our hand, and accordingly it pushes it out on its own, while keeping the axis aligned. Great. With the same hex key we can push the spring into the hole, since there's a hole there, so it settles right into its seat. Okay. Now it moves freely, it's mobile. So, let's check it. Everything should work out. Yeah. That's it. All good. Let's check it once more. Everything works. Now we take this part here. This will be a separate pin. And accordingly, we push it in right here. It needs to be, and can be, cut. I mean, it literally needs to be cut. So we take a hammer and knock it in here and level it around. So it should reach up to here. Okay, we can just bite off this part. Now we need a spring for this spot here. Here it is. 5.5 by, let's see, 17, I think. Now we install it like this. Alright, this group is basically assembled. Now we need to take the SM cover and just close it up. To close it up, I'll use M3X18 self-tapping screws. We've got one going here, one going here. So first we screw in the top one. This needs to be done super tight. Let's check how the trigger moves. If it moves well, great. It should have a bit of play. Depending on the printer, the tolerances are different. So accordingly, your part might print out either a bit smaller or a bit bigger. And accordingly, if it's a bit smaller, there's nothing scary about that, because the trigger will also move freely, which is what we need. But if it prints out a bit bigger, it might press on the trigger slightly, and it won't move as smoothly, but that's not a problem. You just need to loosen these screws a little. So, okay. Now we can, accordingly, attach the grip. It just slides in. Okay, we've put in the grip. Now let's take the pin to drive in the actual connection. Okay, driven in. Now update the cushion for the bike. That is, accordingly, let's assemble it first. Inserted the pin. That's it. This is the spot for seating the spring. Here's the spot for seating the spring directly on the pistol itself. We need. Now we take it from below, not from above. It should be exactly like this. That is, not like this, but like this. And accordingly, we start winding it. We're doing. You can do one turn, or you can do 2 turns. There, we've done a full turn. Basically, that's enough. You can do 2 turns if you want the spring to be stronger. But I usually stop at 1 turn. And we leave it at 90 degrees. And we look at where exactly the notch is located. We insert it. We need to test fit it and see how much we need to cut off. Now we need to tighten the bike's pin itself using this cap. And we screw it in slowly. This will happen in several stages because plastic needs to be handled fairly carefully, but at the same time you can guide it so it does all the necessary work for us. You can loosen it a bit so as not to create too much, let's say, friction on the seals. Our next stage is assembling the piston. We need 2 rings for the barrel and another 2 rings for the piston itself. Accordingly, we assemble the piston. Here's its back end, here's the front. We align them by the holes. We take the screws, specifically M2 by 16 screws, if I remember correctly, and screw them in. Okay, good. We put on the rings. The pad. For shock absorption, at this stage I'm using felt ones. Yes, ideally you'd of course use silicone ones. Silicone is really the best option. And we, accordingly, just glue it. So, now let's take the cylinder. We can set the piston aside for now. We take the cylinder, we take the barrel. We go over it here one more time so there's no support marks. No dust. So we put on ring 1, we put on ring 2. We take the silicone grease and apply just a little bit. We take the cylinder, so we're looking for this. This little square should always be at the back. Accordingly, at the front it goes like this. We shift it. You can even align the seam. This part here should be facing down. We need to lubricate the piston. We call it the piston. And we insert the piston. We do a few movements like this. Great. Now we, accordingly, leave it. So all of this is on one line, on one plane. We put the rim on. It should mostly face backward, and only slightly forward. And now we can safely close this up. We set it aside. You can tap it lightly with a hammer. In that case, we check the piston stroke. There it slides in, everything's as it should be. Now we take another M4 pin and screw it in. And accordingly, we just screw it in smoothly and carefully. It's very important that all the holes line up, so we don't cut extra threads directly into the plastic. And carefully, without rushing, we just screw it in. We keep screwing it in until it shows up here. That is, it should be slightly recessed here and slightly recessed here too. Now we take the M4 by 35 pin. It should be shorter. And accordingly, we screw it in right here. That's it. It should also sit slightly recessed inward. That is, on both sides. So it's just slightly visible here. And slightly visible here too. Now we need to install the piston pin holder. But before that, we cock it. And here we install an M2.5 screw. M28, if I'm not mistaken. Now we take this part and screw it in. We screw the same self-tapping screw in here. And now we need one more to screw in here. So accordingly, we make the hole a bit bigger. And we take another M2 by 8 and we need to screw it in right here. We insert about this part. About this much. Focus catch. Hello. And accordingly, we loosen the trigger holder a bit so it springs back. So we have the last part left. This is the cleaning rod assembly. Alright, the cleaning rod is assembled. We installed it. This is specifically for the cord. It will fit in very tightly. Now we have the last part left, which is the hop-up. Here's the hop-up. So we take two M2 by 10 screws. First, we tighten them not too tight. So that the hop-up can move freely. The top of the hop-up these tops should be positioned right along the edge of the chamfer. That is, it will be practically at the top, but again, it's best if these are the edges of the chamfer. And now we tighten them more firmly. There, something like that. It's ready.